This is episode 572, and today we're going to be talking about 5 ways to boost your willpower. Now, again, these are 5 ways that I have found to be helpful, but there are plenty of other ways to boost your willpower. Most of us actually really wish we did have more willpower, and willpower is a finite reserve of energy, if you will. So the more decisions we make in the beginning of the day, the less we're going to be able to make intelligent decisions at the end of the day. We're not very good at doing the things we don't like doing. So if we put those off to the end of the day, we're going to have no willpower to get them done. And if we do them in the beginning of the day, we're going to use up all our willpower, so the fun things won't get done as well. Willpower is a limited supply, so it must be used wisely. And there's a book called Willpower that talks about having your clothes out at night, so when you wake up, you don't have to make a decision. You know what you're going to do. You want to put off all decision making for as long as possible until it's an important decision, because decision making, regardless, should I have an apple, should I have an orange for breakfast, that depletes your willpower. So it's a finite source, and the more we make decisions, the more it's like a fuel tank, the more we use it up. So it is possible to build your willpower reserves by holding yourself to a standard or enduring, quote, misery, unquote, or as the SEALs say, embrace the suck. So we, willpower is like a muscle. It is a reserve. So the more we can build our willpower consciously, the more we'll have the reserve. So the more we'll be able to get the things done that we want to get done. So neither is particularly fun, that is, embracing the suck or having depleted willpower. But situations that call for willpower never are. When we have to, if we're climbing a mountain, if we're going through a CrossFit, if we have to put together a report for our boss last thing in the day, all of these require willpower. They're usually not fun, but they are. But willpower is essential to getting them accomplished. And if it were enjoyable, you wouldn't need willpower in the first place. Like watching a movie, watching TV, doing something that's fun. You don't need willpower per se because it's enjoyable. You are able to get out and do that. So when the things are enjoyable, there's not much willpower used because we don't have to force ourselves. We don't have to motivate, inspire ourselves to take action. So I'm going to go through 5 ways of building willpower. This first one's going to be really, really strange. Stand in the rain, go outside in the cold. I love going to cryotherapy. So cryotherapy is this chamber with nitrogen that goes into it. It gets down to minus 227, and I stay in there for 3 minutes. But if you don't have a cryo chamber next to you, go outside in the rain. I mean, you're gonna like, no, I don't want to do it, but you go outside, and most likely you're going to get all tense. But the key is to just relax and let the rain hit you. If it's cold, just relax and let the cold go through you. Don't fight the cold. So when we are on these uncomfortable environmental circumstances, whether it's rain, cold, cryotherapy, taking a cold shower, taking an ice bath, any of these things, like Wim Hof talks about, he's the Iceman that talks about this, but they all help build your willpower. So let's just say you're going to go and do a cold shower. Turn the cold shower on, stand for 10 seconds today. 2 days later, stand for 15. 2 days later, stand for 20. 2 days later, stand for 25. And keep adding 5 seconds to it every other day. And by the end of the month, you'll be able to stay in a cold shower for 5 minutes. And that is building your willpower to the cold shower. And that willpower is it's a reserve that you can use anywhere. So as you subject yourself to these unpleasant environmental experiences, you will build your willpower at the same time. Number 2, meditate. Now, meditate is a generic, I use it as a generic term, just like exercise. Do you exercise? Yes. What do you do? I do CrossFit, I do yoga, I do Pilates, I do that. So there are many, many, many different forms of meditation. One of the best to build your willpower is a silent meditation. That means not a guided meditation, not binaural beats, but sit in quiet. Because the quiet is what's going to test our willpower. So you get a nice cushion, you sit on the floor, you take a deep breath, you relax your shoulders, you close your eyes. You may even want to start by putting a timer on, just like with a cold shower. So you start off with 5 minutes. And guaranteed that 5 minutes, if you haven't done a silent meditation, that 5 minutes is going to seem like a very long time. So you go for 5 minutes today. Then you go for 7 minutes. Then you go for 11. And then you go for 12. But you keep adding to it. But the silent meditation, you'll be tempted to open your eyes, to you're going to find your body to be, oh, I have an itch here, I have an ache here. All of that is your ego trying to tell you, don't, don't sit, don't do this. But as you sit and meditate in silence, let your body calm down. That's going to build your willpower because it's something in the beginning that is potentially unpleasant. Once you get into it after 6, 7 months, it'll take you no willpower at all to meditate because you'll be so used to it and you will enjoy it. But in the beginning, just like cryotherapy or in a cold shower, it's going to take you a bit of time to get used to it. So again, I would recommend finding a time of the day where you're most strong in your willpower. Most likely that's in the morning. And so get up a little bit early, sit down, close your eyes, put a timer on for 5 minutes, and just sit there. Then 2 days later, go for 7 minutes. 2 days later, go for 13 minutes. 2 days later, go for 15 minutes. Until you get to, a half hour, 45 minutes, and guaranteed you stay with it. By that time, you're going to start to enjoy the meditation and it's not going to create willpower. So you're going to have created the willpower reserve to meditate. And when it becomes fun, your willpower bucket has been filled. Use your opposite hand on doing things, right? If you go into your house and let's say you use your right hand to unlock the door, use your left hand. Use your left hand to brush your teeth. Use your left hand and start to write because it's going to be so frustrating. See, the thing is, when we get frustrated and we stop, we don't build our willpower. So we almost have to create events that frustrate us, that tempt us to do what's comfortable to build our willpower. So using your opposite hand, use your opposite hand when you eat dinner, your fork in the other hand, whatever dominant hand it is. But start to use your non-dominant hand for your regular activities, drinking your coffee, brushing your teeth, writing your name or writing a letter, uh, uh, eating food. You can think of unlocking doors. You can think of all sorts of ways and start to use it. One, this is also going to create some new neural pathways in your brain, which is a lot of fun to keep you alert, but also it's going to build up your willpower because it is going to be so flippin' frustrating. Make deadlines and complete them. This one, we all have these to-do lists. And we have a to-do list and we write down 10 things we need to get done today, and we only get 5 of them done. So we either carry over the other 5 to tomorrow or we don't do them. Here's the thing is you need to make a promise to yourself to, if you have a to-do list, if you have things that you need to get done, put dates on them on when you're going to get them done and then stick to it. This is probably going to, out of all the others, this is probably going to be the toughest one because it's really a non-physical event, right? Stand in the rain, meditate, use your opposite hand is all physical. But by making a deadline and completing, this is mental. So this is going to build the willpower mentally. The others were physically building your willpower. This is going to be mentally building your willpower. And when you say you're going to do something, you make it a promise. You treat it as if you don't get it done, you're going to pay somebody $1,000. So whatever your list is, your to-do list, your goal list, whatever you have, you want to get accomplished, but you have to have at least 3 things a month that have a date with it. Now, we don't want to take the easy road out and going, oh, okay, I'm going to wash the dishes by 6 p.m. tonight. No, that's what you normally do. Yes, you could load the dishwasher with your opposite hand. That'd be fun, but that's not a deadline. We want to create some deadlines around what you're going to do, or due dates, or goals, or objective dates. But you want to come up with 3 things a month that's going to push you. Maybe it's by the end of February, you're going to have your taxes done. You make a promise, you get them done. You sit down, you take the time, you put together all your finances, you complete your taxes, you get it done. And you get it done because you made a promise to yourself. Another one could be, you're going to go to the gym 5 times this month. Well, you go 1, 2, 3, and the other two, like, oh, I can't. You go. So make a list of accomplishments that you would like to achieve this month. Only 3 of them. Put due dates on them, and they have to be something that is going to create you to be disciplined, to use your willpower to get them done. And then the next month you would do 4, so 1 a week. You want to work up to minimum of 1 a week of some sort of a project, a deadline on getting things done. That could either be, you know, going to the car wash to get your car done. Oh, I need to get it washed. I need to get it washed. I need to get it. When are you going to do it? I'll do it today. Boom. You make the deadline. You take it. You do it. Whatever that is, you make sure you get it done. This one can be really helpful if you have a coach to work with you on creating these deadlines and having accountability with it. So this one is really, really important because one, you're going to get things done. And then number 2, you're going to start to build your willpower. Number 5, eat mindfully. This is such a wonderful practice. Often when we eat, whether it's breakfast, lunch, or dinner, or snacks, we are either at our desk trying to eat and do something, or we're at home listening to the radio, watching TV, or doing something, and we are distracted from our food. Eating mindfully means turning off all distractions, eating in silence, and actually slowing down to chew each piece of food 20 to 40 times before you swallow it. But also, you want to be able to feel the texture of the food, taste the flavor of it. Take your time. This is this will build up willpower so effectively because we are such in a rush, like again, eating at work, throwing some food down, getting back to it, that we never taste our food. We never know how many calories we're eating. We never know anything about it. But to build our willpower to be used elsewhere, if we start to eat mindfully. I know there was a practice of mindful eating where one of the exercises was to eat an orange, and it took over an hour to eat the orange because you would look at the orange, you would see the dimples in it, you would put your finger into the orange, you would feel what it feels like, you'd see the spray of the orange come up, you peel apart. Anyway, you get the hint here that it takes a long time to be mindful, and that is we want to rush to get it done. But when we build up willpower to hold ourselves back and do it mindfully, that willpower will be available to us elsewhere. So there you have it. So just keep in mind, how much willpower do you have? Think about it. If you're like most people, you think you could use more, perhaps a lot more. Maybe these exercises that I just reviewed with you, you go, that was impossible to do. All of them impossible. Well, that would be a really good sign that your willpower reserve is kind of small, and it would be a good thing to bump it up a little bit. Situations that call for willpower aren't enjoyable, and that's why we get so little practice, because we don't subject ourselves, mental strength, we don't subject ourselves to these events to build our willpower, to build our mental strength. So these are some that are fun ways to do it. Most of us avoid these situations as much as possible. I mean, really, who's going to go and stand out in the rain, in the snow, in the cold, take a cold shower? Who wants to really do their income tax return? We all avoid these things, and by avoiding it, we don't build our willpower. But building willpower might not be fun, just like building mental strength is not fun, but the suffering you put in today can pay off exponentially tomorrow, because then once you have this willpower as a reserve, those unpleasant things will be easier to get done. So challenge yourself to increase your daily supply of willpower. Every day you can do something. You can do a little bit of mindful eating. You could do some meditation. You could take a cold shower. You can do, set some goals. All of these things will build your willpower. So if you'd like to see the show notes on this, you can go over to warriormindcoach.com for more information. And while you're there, you can check out other podcasts and blog posts and other things to help with willpower and mental strength. And since you'll be on the internet, please follow me on LinkedIn, Facebook, Instagram, Pinterest under Warrior Mind Coach.